Good morning. Hey, thought I'd do something a little different this morning. As a matter of fact, let me adjust this just a little bit. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm live. I'm not live, but I'm here in my backyard. And as you can see, there's my deck. My pool is covered up. Hopefully, I'll be taking that pool cover off in the next day or two as we start getting into the 80s and stuff, which is what everybody's looking at. That's why I got my Hawaiian shirt on. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit before you guys go ahead and deliver your speeches. Oh, by the way, my wife's idea was the gel. So I went ahead and gelled my hair so I didn't have to wear a hat when I was doing this. So here you are. You're now getting ready to deliver your speeches, okay? The first thing we need to do, and I would write this on one of the marker boards if we were in a classroom, the first thing you need to do is relax, okay? As I've said many times, I said it to a couple of people yesterday, I am not looking for the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, the Ronald Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall speech. I'm just looking for you to get up and just talk about a topic that you have a great deal of knowledge of, okay? And knowledge is really what's going to help you to deliver a really good speech, to be more comfortable in public speaking. Knowledge is always got a lot to do with how comfortable you are getting up and speaking, especially as you're speaking in front of the camera here, okay? Now, as you can see, I have my, well, you can't really see, I have my outdoor table here, and I've got Morel's speech. Morel Santos is the one who spoke back on March 4th in my spring class, and I have it down here, okay? She has a 3-page outline, but the 3rd page is just her bibliography, so I really only need the 2 pages. So now as you're delivering your speech, again, you're standing. I've got a table down here in front of me, okay? And all you have to do is as you're talking, if you need to refer down, you refer down. Because remember, as you guys have seen through the 3 sample outlines that I've given you, the full content outline is your speech word for word. But I don't want you to memorize, okay? Because what ends up happening is you're like, and I can't stand when students do this. Like, oh, Eichels, I memorized, no problem. And then they get up there and then they don't have anything in front of them. And they're just like, all right, so let me move on to my first main point, which is, no, Eccles, I'll remember, don't tell me. And then, of course, they stand up there. We have these several moments of just awkward silence as, of course, they tried to memorize. They couldn't remember their speech. Boom. We end up sitting there bored to death. And they ended up taking a lot longer to do their speech than they were supposed to. So have the outline down on this table in front of you. But, of course, it also allows you to, use those gestures, the complimenting, illustrating, the things that you want to do, okay, to have your hands free. Okay, you can even move around a bit. It depends on where your camera is. Now I've got mine not as far away probably as I would have wanted to, but it's still not that bad. Okay, I can't move too far, otherwise my audience would go ahead and lose me. But this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. To have this kind of distance and to especially have it. I've got on the table. I've got a little TV tray, and that's what the camera is sitting on, or my what are these things called again? Tablet. So I have the tablet here set up and at eye level pretty much. And this will work well. This will work really well. But no sitting. Don't want you sitting for the speech. All right. Even in the future, 5-10 years from now, if you're delivering a speech where you're going to be streaming it, there are some people who will be sitting, but most people will be standing, because when you want to deliver a speech and you're given that 3, 4, 5 minutes, you're going to be much more impactful if you're standing and having those hands free than sitting and having your face right up and saying, good morning, everyone, and here's my speech, and I'm right on top of the camera. No. That's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. All right. So, don't forget, you've got your introduction with an attention gainer and a preview. Got to preview your main points. And for example, Morel has a great preview, as does Ashley and oh my goodness, I forgot the other lady's last name, the one who did the Polish speech. Oh God, about the, why is her name, I've been saying her name for 15 years and now I just suddenly blanks. That's all right, you know who I'm talking about. but her speech about the festival in Poland, they all have excellent previews of their main points. And then, of course, have two main points, okay? And like I said, usually the time arrangement pattern is usually the best. Give a little background, and then your second main point, you talk about the most recent current event, or what's going on currently with whatever it is. Or if you have the topical format, then both of your points are current, depending on which way you want to go. And then, of course, your conclusion, which has a review and some form of closure. All right. Topics have been excellent. I've really liked a lot of your topic choices. I'm really looking forward to listening to these speeches. Oh, and by the way, as we did our live WebEx yesterday, I thank all of you who did join in yesterday because, yeah, I want to see your faces. Of course, half of you would not turn your cameras on because you just woke up. Matter of fact, I was telling the people in the morning class at 8:30 or 8:45, the video phone, which I guess is pretty much what your FaceTime is now. The video phone was developed in the 1970s. Never took off. Why? Because of the reason yesterday, half of you did not put your cameras on. Is, of course, you know, if you're just waking up, especially ladies, my wife will not get in front of a camera until she's showered, spent an hour at her dressing table, at her vanity, then she'll get on camera. All right. So could you imagine just waking up, ladies, and then somebody calls you, picking up a phone, and they could see you? Of course not. So even though video phones were developed back in the 70s, they never took off. All right. So yesterday, of course, I had 6 people in the morning. The mid-morning, I had 2. And then in the afternoon, I had 3. So I would have liked to have seen a lot more of you, but that's okay. It wasn't mandatory. Obviously, you're very comfortable. This is what I'm expecting, that you're comfortable enough with the organization that you're doing, with the delivery of the speeches. So we're going to be okay. All right. Try not to talk too fast, but you also don't want to talk too slow. Okay. Find that medium. Again, we're going to have the half the class is going to speak and on Wednesday, and you have to have your speeches in by Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then on the other half of the class, on the schedules, we'll do it by Thursday at 7 p.m. What I do ask is if you're scheduled for Thursday, I'm going to ask that you don't send it in early. Don't say, Eccles, I wanted to get out of the way, so here it is on Wednesday, even though it's not due till Thursday. The reason why is that I have to grade all these speeches. And I do watch your speeches. I look over your outlines. So, you know, I don't want to get jammed up. I don't want to lose your speech in my emails, that kind of thing. Also, please try to, if you have a YouTube channel, to utilize that so I can have the link and share it with your classmates. Remember, one of the assignments that you have over the weekend is to watch at least 5 of your classmates' speeches and then give them good constructive critiques. Now, what this is all about is you being able to look at a speech, not just me telling you, but you looking at the speech and being able to see what works and what maybe could have worked better, that kind of thing. That's what constructive is you can compliment people, you can give them a lot of, you know, great, you know, boosters, you know, oh, this was great, oh, you did this so well, this really worked out well. Or you could say, you know, you talked a little too fast, if you could slow down, maybe organize your speech a little better. That's constructive criticism, okay? Please do not get on and say, oh, man, Jeff, your speech sucked. No, that's not constructive. Let me do the bad. I'm the bad guy. I got the red pen. Let me do the bad stuff, all right? You're doing the constructive criticism. So, and I would never say somebody's speech sucked because nobody's speech ever sucks. It just maybe needs to get worked on, that's all. So you're, over the weekend, you're going to have at least 5, and you'll give them critiques. Now, critiques, I'm not looking like a paragraph for each person. You might only write 3, 4, 5 words for each person, okay? But just, you know, great tone or really good information, good citing of sources, because don't forget, you've got to cite your sources in the speech. And, you know, for example, as Morel here is in her first main point, she's talking about creating a haven for women displaced by Colombia's rampant violence. Her speech was about the city of women in Colombia. And as she says, you know, the BBC states that, okay? And that's all it really needs to be, as long as you tell us where you get the information from, all right? According to the New York Times of March 15th, Oktoberfest started in, boom, and then you would go ahead and go into it. So make sure you cite your source, because you got to tell us where you got the information from. Now, what I've attached to this email is the grade sheet. This is the rubric that I would normally use, and I'm still going to be using it, but I'm going to be a little more loose in the way I use it because, number one, I can't print out one for each person. Unfortunately, in the situation that we're in, this very, very unusual situation, the school is not supporting us at all. All right. So whether it's the use of all my I'm using my internet and I'm not going to get reimbursed for it. But also printing paper, and especially, as we all know, printers are cheap, ink is not. So if I print out 66 grade sheets, I'm not going to get reimbursed for all the ink that I'm going to use. I'll probably run out of ink before I even print out all of them. And not everybody is going to go ahead and have the Google Docs where I could go ahead and edit it and everything else. So I'm going to give you scores that are based on that grade sheet. And I want you to look it over because, again, a lot of the stuff that I want you to incorporate into the speech is on that grade sheet. But yeah, I'm not going to really be able to tell you, you got a 5 on this, a 4 on this, a 6 on that kind of thing. You'll just get a number for the speech and then a number for the outline. Okay? As you look at your course outline at the bottom of page 1, you'll see that maximum point total for the speech is 100, maximum point total for the outline is 25. So you'll see a score of like maybe 91-24. That means a 91 on the speech and a 24 for the outline. All right. So that's it. All right. Don't forget, speeches need to be in by Wednesday at 7 p.m., Thursday at 7 p.m., and then by Sunday night, 11 p.m. Sunday night, 11 p.m. is when I do need your critiques. If I don't have your critiques, you don't get that 15 points, all right? And again, you're just writing critiques for 5 of your classmates' speeches. Hey, I'm looking forward to this. And a big reason why I look forward to this assignment especially is, my wife and I will go out to dinner parties. And we'll meet people from different cultural backgrounds. And this person will say, well, I come from here and, we do this or we celebrate. And I'll say, oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that holiday or I know that celebration. And after a while, some people say, hey, Eccles, how do you know so much about so many things? I give them 2 words. Student speeches. You guys educate me. And what I'm really hoping you do, more so than educating me, is to educate your classmates about all these great places and these great festivals, but also some of the other interesting things that are happening around the world. That's what the purpose is of this assignment. And that's why we stay away from the good old USA. All right? Well, I'm coming around here. I'm coming around. Oh, you lost me. But here I am. All right. Let's get to these speeches, people. I'm looking forward to them. And don't forget, relax. We'll see you soon.